This is Las Vegas, home to the US Open, the greatest prize in 9-ball. There are over 250 players competing for a prize pool of $300,000. After 3 days of intense competition, the field has been whittled down to just 16. The race for a place in the quarterfinals is on. Welcome to the Party Poker US Open of 2019 from the Mandalay Bay Resort in Las Vegas. We are 2 matches into the round of the last 16, and the big news here in Vegas is that Jason Shaw, the defending champion, is out. He fell to the world #1 Joshua Filler. The German is the first man into the quarterfinals. He will face Francisco Sanchez Ruiz, who beat the talented Ko Ping Chung by the same scoreline as Filler. In a field dominated by players from the Far East, Ruiz and Filler are rare examples of European success in this tournament. In the top half of the draw, those 2 results confirm that Joshua Filler will take on Francisco Sanchez Ruiz for a place in the semi-finals. Coming up, the match between Jeffrey De Luna and Imran Majid. The winner will take on either Alex Pagulayan or Aloysius Yap. Time then to meet the players for our next match.
All the professional players, they want to win the US Open, but I got semi-final like 2 years ago here. I lost to Chinese Taipei, so Chang Junlin. Jason Shaw won the tournament, so I lose the semi-final. So maybe I got this tournament. I wish.
Oh, I come here to win the tournament. I mean, I don't play in a tournament if I don't think I can win it. So yeah, I'm going for gold, yeah, all the way, yeah. Second or third is not good enough for me.
Majid won the lag and broke in the opening rack. He made the perfect start, running the rack out. In the second, the break was less successful, allowing De Luna to the table. A jump shot set him on his way to level the match. De Luna scratched in the third. Majid ran the rack out. The fourth looked to give the perfect opportunity to Majid, but he stumbled, fouling on the 4. Ball in hand to De Luna, who completed the rack to level the match. This is now the 5th. De Luna to break. Commentary from Ted Lerner and Michael McMullen.
Thank you, rack 5. Jeff De Luna to break. 2-2.
Well, let's see if he still employs that medium hit break or he steps it up a few notches. That was a little bit harder, and that was achieves a lot more success. That is really good. He's got the 1 ball down, and watch there. This time the 1 ball goes in the side pocket. The cue ball gets kicked, but it was still heading in the proper direction off the rail. So a much better effort there from Jeffrey De Luna. He put a little more action on that break.
Yeah, and in potting the 2 here, he does have the angle to come back in the direction of the 3, but I wouldn't say position 100% guaranteed. Got a bit of work to do to get the shape.
Now you see he pointed to that area right where his cue stick is, sort of hovering over the table there. And that'll get him in that alley for that 3 ball.
Well, he can drop nicely onto the 4 from here. You mentioned Efren Reyes earlier, who's actually been something of a mentor to him, Ted. He's often said to have a similar playing style. Is that something you'd agree with?
No, I would not. I never thought that Jeffrey DeLuna has a similar style to Efren. Well, I guess you could say nobody has a similar style to Efren. Efren has always been on another planet, actually another universe when it comes to pool, and Efren knows shots that the average mortal couldn't even dream up. Now, having said that, being mentored, yes, that is very true. That DeLuna has played in the Efren Reyes era. He has hung around, played plenty of money games with Efren and all the other guys like Bustamante, Rodolfo Luat, all the big names from the past generation of great Filipino pool players. He kind of bridges that gap between the older generation and the newer ones coming up, like Jeffrey Ignacio, who will be playing in our final 16.
Yeah, he'll be playing tonight against Chang Yulong.
Oh, that's a massive blunder right there. That is a mental error.
Well, I was going to say we haven't seen much sign of nerves, but I think we perhaps did on that shot.
Absolutely no excuse for that, and he knows it, and he's going to pay a big price.
Well, that facial expression tells you everything you need to know about what DeLuna thinks about that. At least he's smiling to some extent.
Well, the final 16 TV table here, U.S. Open. That is not where you want to be, right there. That kind of miss. That's not. Well, hopefully he can get another chance. He'll have his chances, but he's going to pay a price for that.
Yeah, errors on both sides so far. Imran Majid leads for the third time at 3-2. Here is that miss. Well, he certainly won't want to see it again.
Thank you, rack 6. Imran Majid to break, leading 3 racks to 2.
He's got a ball down.
Yeah, and he's got a shape on the 1. He's got 2 down, actually. 5 and 6. 6 in the corner, 5 in the side.
So far, Imran seems to have the break shot pretty much down. And he's going to attempt to make DeLuna pay for that glaring error in the last rack.
Yeah, that was his 4th break-off shot of the match. He's not come up dry from any of them yet. He's effectively a full-time player because away from the tournament table, his income comes from coaching players. And are we going to see a player claiming a bit of breathing space for the first time in this match? Oh, that took some good judgment, and he's done it very nicely.
Nice confident shot there from Imran.
Yeah, any tension in the queuing arm was certainly going to be exposed on a shot like that. So he's been a rack ahead twice before. This time he's gone too clear. Imran Majid leads Jeffrey De Luna by 4 racks to 2.
Welcome back to Las Vegas for the 2019 US Open. It's the opening stages of the knockout phase, and Jeffrey De Luna is taking on Imran Majid. It's been close during the opening exchanges before Majid opened up a 2-rack advantage. In the 7th, Majid increased his lead with a break and run out. In the 8th, Majid appeared to stumble, but De Luna failed to take advantage initially, only for Majid to miss. De Luna then cleared.
So De Luna has got the break back.
Thank you, rack 9. Jeff De Luna to break, trailing 3 racks to 5.
He's got a ball down. What he needs is a shot on the 1.
Yeah, the 8 is down. Now, does that 1 pass to the corner? Well, we'll see from here. It's just running into position there. That's very tight, isn't it?
And he's also going to have to bring the cue ball back up for the blue 2.
No.
Instead, yeah, the shot wasn't on, so he plays safe. It's a nice effort there from Jeff.
Yeah, clearly didn't go, but he'll settle for that.
Resting it? Yeah.
Imran Majid, a familiar figure on the Euro Tour, and a multiple winner on it as well. Played the kick shot.
No.
But he's left it, and it's an easy one as well, and he can get nicely on the 2 from here.
He's probably figuring he could have tried to get that cue ball, rather the 1 ball behind that green 6. Hit that too hard and brought it out into that open area. And now De Luna with a big opportunity to get it to 1.
Well, he was actually just the wrong side of the 1, but he's played that nicely. Sort of shot that always has potential to go wrong when you're coming off multiple cushions. Isn't it amazing how quickly things can turn around? Only 5 minutes or so ago, it looked like we were going 6-2. Now De Luna with a great chance to be only 1 behind.
It's a funny old game, this 9-ball. It's got a lot of twists and turns, and it's never over till that last 9-ball goes. And I suppose that's why the fans who do follow the sport love it so much.
Well, the amount of twists and turns we've seen in 8 and a bit racks is remarkable, especially when you consider that 3 of those were break and runouts. So much has happened in the other racks.
that's looks like he overhit that.
Yeah, very much so. And I don't think you'd say either player has really hit their full flow yet. They've both threatened to at times. Majid certainly did with the consecutive break and run-outs. But just when it looks like either of them is getting a bit of momentum going, it slips away from them just as quickly. But he's done that nicely.
Well, I will say this about the Filipino players is that most of them are not afraid to move that cue ball all around. I'm sure many teachers of the game would tell you that the best way is to keep control of that cue ball if at all possible. But the Filipinos, they have a certain flair in their game.
Yeah, I think we've seen that already at times in this match. Jeffrey De Luna is on the comeback trail. He was 3 behind. He now trails by only 1. Majid leads 5 racks to 4.
It looked like Imran was threatening to run away with it there. He had the measure of the break, but a mistake allowed Jeffrey De Luna back in the match. And he's taken advantage of that mistake, and that's what you got to do. But is he going to get a ball down?
No, he's come up dry now. Has he left the 1? He may just have been lucky there. Plenty of movement.
One dry break for De Luna.
Push out called.
As I mentioned, Imran has been breaking very well. None for him. So this is the push out shot. And this is the shot that you can only play after the break shot. So you can push the ball anywhere on the table you want, and the opponent has the chance to, well, rather the option to shoot it or to hand it back.
The first time I ever watched 9-ball pool, Ted, I think I was telling you the other day, I didn't actually know about that rule. This is over 30 years ago now, and I saw Steve Mizrak play the push out, and I was wondering what on earth he was doing.
I don't think that's what he had in mind. Imran left him a wide open shot for a safety, but that safety has gone awry. Now the 2-ball, somewhat hidden by the 9, so there's only a narrow area that Imran can get onto that 2.
We've seen errors of all sorts so far in this match. Potting, positional, and now tactical as well.
Extension called.
Yeah, he's called the extension there, and I think that was inevitable. He's taking his time over this. He knows how crucial it could be to this rack. It's been up and down a couple of times now.
So if he's going to go for the pot, it's a very difficult pot, but he should be able to get the cue ball around for the red 3. Nope, and he's left that on.
Yeah, 2 is on to the middle, but he's the wrong side of it for getting on the 3, so work to do with the cue ball. As you said, though, Ted, these Philippines players like to work the cue ball off the rails, around the table. And this is a test of that attribute right here.
One of the reasons they are so good at moving the cue ball all over the place is many Filipinos grow up playing a similar rotation game to 9-ball. It's called rotation, actually, where there's 15 balls on the table, and you go from 1 through 15. So with that many more balls on the table, they have to get very creative with the cue ball to get into position to score some points. Was a bit out of position here on the 4, so this is a crucial shot here for Jeff DeLuna.
Well, you often use the term join the dots break, Ted, when all the balls are sitting there and it's all straightforward. This is not one of those instances by any means. He's having to work for this, but the reward is great. It's a chance here to get back on level terms at 5-all, and having been 5-2 down only about 15 minutes or so ago, he would be delighted with that. And now he's taking his extension.
Goes for the bank. And he has left a long shot for Majid. Not easy.
No.
So Imran just chooses for a safety.
I think he's okay there. I don't think that 4's on.
No, it's not.
And there we see it from the overhead angle.
Well,
Certainly
possible
doesn't look.
Yeah, he can see a piece of it, so he can play for a safe. Oh, that did not work out well.
I think neither player is going to be all that pleased with the safety side of their game so far. So what a big rack this could be now. DeLuna's been coming back at Majid. He was 3 behind. He had a chance to draw level. Now Majid has the opportunity to give himself a bit of breathing room again. But not quite routine from here.
Well, that was a very nice effort there on the 5-ball.
Yeah, he's done that well under the kind of pressure that he'll be feeling at the moment as we move towards a key stage of the match. Wasn't guaranteed to get that right. And that just looked a little nervy. Slightly snatchy with his cue action there, but should still get this. What a crucial rack that could turn out to be. They both had chances, they both made mistakes. Majid, though, has ended up winning it. Now he leads by 2 again. That's 6-4.
14.
Rack 14, Imran Majid to break, leading
This
8
certainly
racks to
is
5.
different from the arena that we had next door. And again, while that was extremely tough, you could sort of play in your own little bubble without people watching. But this is all eyes on you here.
And in a funny sort of way, the silence is more distracting than the hustle and bustle of the 33-table stage that we had.
Dry break.
Yeah, stop the press. Only the second time it's happened to him in this match. You mentioned Darren Appleton there. Majid, of course, trying to emulate him by becoming only the second English winner of the US Open. And yet, for all we spoke about DeLuna's mistakes, Ted, he has a chance here to be only 2 behind.
Well, I haven't picked up my pen yet, Michael, to mark it down on my score sheet. For the sole fact that he has not been able to close the deal on a number of occasions so far in this match.
Yeah, you can't take any ball for granted for either player in this match. They've both made surprising errors at times. He mentioned he hasn't won any of the really big titles, Jeffrey DeLuna. He won a doubles event, the Manny Pacquiao Cup in Philippines, 5 years ago now in his home country. $20,000 first prize there. But as you say, none of the real standout individual titles. He's battling well here to cling on to his hopes of winning this one. Knows he's not playing at his best. He's made some elementary errors, as we said. Absolutely cannot afford one now. Such a crucial rack now. And each time Majid has gone 3 in front, DeLuna has responded immediately. And he's responded again. DeLuna just won't let go in this match. Majid's lead cut to 8-6.
The 15th saw DeLuna break and run the rack out. In the 16th, DeLuna seized the opportunity to increase the pressure on his rival and level the match. This is now the 17th.
And if he can get a good break here, he's got a chance to lead for the first time in the whole match.
Well, he's grinding it out, and you always like to see a player do that. Sometimes guys don't play their best, but they have a nose for the finish line. Does Jeff DeLuna have that today?
What he does have is a 1 off the break. And he's got some sort of shot in the 2.
It's a very long shot on the 2. He's probably going to have to play safe. The 3 is tied up with the 7.
Clearly in two minds. He's worked so hard to get the momentum back in this match. Doesn't want to give it away unnecessarily. He's gone for it. That's a fantastic shot.
That is his best shot of the match. But he's going to have a tough shot here if he chooses to go for this combination.
Let's see that again. How gutsy was this?
He had to dig into that cue ball, and it actually jumped up off the table.
I'll say this, it certainly shows he's feeling more positive now than he was a few racks ago.
Absolutely.
Now, if he was right in behind this 3-7 combination, you'd really fancy it, but at this angle, it can go wrong. No problem, though. And with every passing shot, things look more and more promising for Jeffrey De Luna.
And look at the angle he left himself on the 3-ball. Boy, this is 2 good shots in a row to open up the table. And so he has struggled throughout this match to keep the errors in check. They have popped up from time to time, and it has cost him. But he's been hanging around.
Well, he had his first break and run out of the match just 2 racks ago. You were asking earlier, Ted, is he one of those players who has a nose for the winning line? Well, all the indications are that the answer is quite definitely yes. Because these last few racks, it's the best he's played all day.
Well, we're not there yet to the magic number of 11, but I give him a lot of credit for the fight back. Can be very easy to get negative and to start to worry that you're going to, you know, embarrass yourself on this massive stage, people watching all over the world. Jeff has a lot of experience at this game, and also being on TV tables, to know that sometimes you just got to bear down and hang in there. We call it in the sport of pool grinding it out. You're not always going to have a performance like Josh Filler of Germany had against Jason Shaw in our first match, in which he just steamrolls one of the greatest players in the world.
Well, in a way, it's more commendable to win a match this way, to just stick in there. Get the best out of how you are playing. But in a sense, he's maybe gone past that now, because he is actually starting to find some rhythm, putting those earlier mistakes behind him.
Well, the 2 shots in this rack, the 2-ball off the rail, full table, cut shot, and then leaving the position. Well, he had a tough position on the bank, on the combination on the 3-7.
Welcome back to the opening round in the knockout stage of the 2019 US Open. It's De Luna against Majid. In rack 18, the break was good enough, but the attempted combination wasn't. Advantage to Majid, who stepped in to clear and level the match. In the 19th, the break for Majid should have given the Englishman the advantage, but a miss on the 2-ball meant the match once again swung back towards De Luna. This is now the 20th rack of this absorbing match.
Well, he's not going to be that delighted with this. He has a ball down, but no shot on the 1. So he's going to have to give up the table.
Push out called.
He's called a push out. So time to get creative for Jeff.
He spoke a lot about Majid's breaking earlier in the match, but De Luna's only had 1 dry break himself. You need the bit of good fortune, though, as well. He didn't get it on that occasion. So now it's all about how he responds to that situation.
Well, he's given him a full ball look at the 1. So now Imran can choose to shoot this ball, or if he doesn't like what De Luna has given him, he can opt to give it back.
De Luna's mentor, Efren Reyes, Ted, he was a master of the push-out. He always seemed to judge it so well.
Well, Efren is a master of everything.
Yeah, he had great determination and grit, and he's clearly passed on some of that to De Luna, because that's what's got him back into a contest that looked to be slipping away from him.
Trying to use the 7 as a blocker. Well done. But there might be a little bit of a gap there. For De Luna, the 1 ball peaked out, so he might just return the favor. Well, did he leave that on?
I think he may have done. He wanted to get in behind the 8. Hasn't managed to do that. But if it is on, what a tester this is, knowing that if he misses it, it could be the end of his US Open campaign.
Yes. Just say what you want. Extension called.
So he calls an extension, rightly so. A lot to think about here. Very easy if he makes a mistake to leave this ball open and on, and that could be it. Oh, he made it. Oh, what a clutch shot.
Well, he might as well have gone for it, because if he'd decided to turn it down and opt for the safety, that was just as likely to go wrong and prove to be his last shot.
Good point.
Oh, you can't do that.
I was going to say, at this point, it's just about execution. And he did not execute. But he left it covered.
Well, he missed an easy 2 in the previous rack, and it ended up costing him. As you say, though, may have got away with it this time. And surely the two he missed in the previous rack, not just because it's the two, of course, but the fact that he missed that ball in the previous rack must have been in his mind there.
Extension called.
How it's turned around, Ted. De Luna was making so many mistakes early on, but now it's Majid who's making all the errors.
Oh, he's going to make that.
Oh, that's in.
But what was just an attempt to kick it out of there and get safe has now turned into a very long hit on this 3-ball, so this rack isn't over yet.
The balls don't forgive you, do they? Majid misses the 2. De Luna gets the stroke of fortune.
Oh, that's a very good effort from Jeffrey.
Majid's confidence has taken a battering at the balls he's missed in the last couple of racks.
He's got to be very precise. There's not much room for error.
And that may very well be his last shot.
Yeah, that ball was very close to the rail, and that limits the options for him. If it was away from the rail, he could have used that rail to get to the ball, but it's a very small target. And now, ball in hand. Balls are out in the open, and De Luna just has to hold his nerve.
So is the last hope of a British winner of this US Open coming to an end?
I believe it is.
Jason Shaw went out earlier in the day, the man from Glasgow. The Londoner, Imran Majid, is 4 balls away, it would appear, from joining him on the flight home. And ultimately, De Luna has played his best of the match when it's mattered the most.
And while not his best performance of his career, it will be very satisfying, because a win is a win.
And he'll give himself credit for hanging in when things were all going against him.
Well, if anything, it will imbue him with the belief that he can do it, that he's never out of it. So good job, Jeffrey De Luna. You have persevered, and this 9-ball for a spot in the quarterfinals of the US Open.
The man from Manila has prevailed in a thriller. Jeffrey De Luna was struggling. He was 8-5 down, but by winning 6 of the last 7 racks, he's beaten Imran Majid by 11 racks to 9, and he's into the quarterfinals of the US Open.
An incredible result for Jeffrey De Luna, who kept in contention throughout this one, and in the final straight overtook Imran Majid to book a place in the quarterfinals of the Party Poker US Open.